All right, hey guys. I hope everyone is doing well. This is Rudy. Hey, I'm just going to make a video today and talk about third rails. And for those of you that don't know what a third rail is, in bygone days there used to be a third rail for a train that powered it, and it was electrically charged, and if you touched it you would most assuredly die. And so nobody wanted to touch the third rail, and so it became a metaphor for politically charged topics or religiously charged topics that nobody wanted to talk about. And I think I'll title this video Great Men Don't Shy Away from Third Rails. And there's lots of third rails topics that we have in our society today. A third rail from days gone by was Holocaust deniers. And I think in England, and some of you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's my understanding that if you shout on the street corner in England that 6 million Jews were not gassed to death by Hitler, then you'll be put in jail. And so when something becomes a third rail, it can even go to the point where it will become against the law to talk about it or to hold a certain position, which to me is totally against freedom of speech. I'm not a Holocaust denier, but at the same time, I don't believe people should be put in jail for the words that they say or for the thoughts that they think. I think the freedom of the human mind, the freedom of human speech is guaranteed by our Constitution. Now that's different than yelling fire in a theater knowing that it's a lie and trying to endanger the lives of people. So there are limits, but you shouldn't be able to, the government should not be able to put a limit on the topics that we talk about or the positions that we hold in our mind. And we should be able to freely talk about all topics. But me and acronyms, I've created a lot of acronyms because there's just so much information out there that I got to create an acronym for everything. I created Mangy Roaches C to help me remember all of the lies and deceptions that Satan is putting over in the world. I got PACTS for Zeitgeist must have committed certain pacts with the devil because the Zeitgeist is so evil. I got NWO Fire Temps Men to help me remember all of the scientific evidence that back up why 9/11 was an inside job. But I created this acronym called Great Men to help me remember a lot of the third rails in society today. And let me just go through them. And first of all, let me say that these are very volatile, controversial subjects. And we may disagree, and I may grow later on in my life to have a different opinion about it. But I'm going to share with you my opinion right now. But I would hope if you're watching me and you are a Christian that we can at least agree in the core belief, which makes us part of the body of Christ, which is that Jesus Christ is our salvation, and no man cometh unto the Father except through Jesus. So if we can agree that that is our core foundation and that is what we have in common, even if we disagree on some of these other third rails, we can still be friends. Now, again, I'm not putting myself up as an expert on these third rails, but I think it's important to talk about them because I don't want to shy away from third rails, and I think that our leaders should be able to openly talk about them. It's only when you push things under the carpet and you make things secret that things become very dangerous, because you want open free speech, and you want to be able to discuss everything in a free society. But let me go through my acronym Great Men and share with you my opinion. I could be wrong on some of these. They're my opinions nonetheless. I'm still learning on a lot of things, but here goes. So the G in Great Men is global climate hoax, and the corporate culture today has developed this green attitude and the green police. And if you question global climate hoax, you are just the most barbaric, inconsiderate, selfish, greedy SOB that ever lived. So in my opinion, global climate warming or global warming is a complete hoax. Al Gore is a complete fraud and liar, and he's trying to get all of our money, and there's lots of books to back that up, and there's videos on my website that go into that in great detail. But that's just an example of one of the third rails. If you go against the mainstream on global warming, you're a complete lunatic. The second thing in great men is R. That would be racism. And, typically it's been my experience that a racist person doesn't want to talk about the topic of racism because they know what's in their heart. And the Bible tells us that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. And so if you're not a racist and you believe that we're all God's children and you try to deal with people on an individual basis, you're not afraid to talk about racism because even if somebody calls you a racist, it doesn't go into your heart. It doesn't affect you. And so, I'm not afraid to talk about racism. The high school that I went to, just to let you know, had over 360 graduating students. It was over 95% black. It was Spruce High School in Dallas, Texas. And it was like 5% Mexican. And I think out of the 360 people, there were 3 of us that were white. So I have developed an experience when I went to that high school with, minority population, and I have my certain opinions about it. And the fact is that over 99% voted for Obama. The black population has been trained by our government to be dependent on government programs, and so they're manipulated through that. If you look at the video that I posted called MAFA 21, MAAFA 21, it talks about Margaret Sanger and Planned Parenthood and how that is nothing but a eugenics program that's implemented on the black people for abortion and abortion of black babies. But there's nothing wrong with every race being proud of their race. I happen to be white, and I'm proud of being white. Now, if you're proud of being white, you must be a racist. No, I'm not a freaking racist. I think a black person should be proud of being black. A white person should be proud of being white. And no matter what color you are, you should be proud of your heritage. But we've got into this multicultural political correctness that is just stifling America, and it's stifling our discourse. And if you say anything negative about Obama or someone of a minority persuasion, you are all of a sudden racist. And I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of being called a racist. But, I say that it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me because I think you're saying the truth. It affects me because of how stupid you are. And I'm just amazed at how stupid we've become as a society. But in any event, let's move on because I got to get my way through this acronym. And I think we all know, hopefully, that racism is a third rail, and we shouldn't be afraid to talk about it. So we got G, the global climate hoax. We got R for racism. We got E, which stands for evolution. And if you read, there's a DVD by Ben Stein, I think it is, and it's called what is the name of that video? No intelligence allowed. Sorry about that. He made a video called No Intelligence Allowed, and he said there's various scientists and professors in the university organization, and when they come out and ask questions or critically question evolution, they lose their jobs, they lose their promotions. And if you're in society today and you question evolution, you just get trounced upon like you're a big redneck idiot who hadn't caught up with science and technology yet. And I'm not here to toot my own horn, and I'm not here to raise my own flag, but I happen to have an electrical engineering degree from Southern Methodist University. I have a minor in mechanical engineering. I have 2 internetworking expert degrees. I've worked in the high-tech field for over 20 years. Now, I'm not tooting my horn, but I'm just saying that I'm not an illogical person. And I know lots of smart people that question evolution, and yet the label that's thrown on us is redneck, hillbilly, backwoods people. You people hadn't caught up with modern times. And evolution is one of the greatest lies that has ever been perpetrated on mankind. Let me see how much. I'm already up to 9 minutes. I don't know what to say. It's incredible. Anyway, time goes by so quick. Let's get through the rest of this acronym because the purpose of the video is to get out the third rails that we should all be willing to talk about. So we got E for evolution. The A is abolish the Federal Reserve. That's not a tremendous third rail because the majority of the people understand that the Federal Reserve does need to be abolished. At least I hope they do. Our money is basically worthless. We're on the verge of a currency collapse. The Federal Reserve is not a federal institution. If you get a chance, read The Creature from Jekyll Island by G. Edward Griffin. Watch the video series called The Money Masters or Fiat Empire. although some of the conclusions that's reached in Money Masters I do not agree with, but nonetheless, the Federal Reserve, is the most evil institution on the planet by far. Monsanto is a close second, but the Federal Reserve is number one most evil institution on the planet. So you got global climate hoax, racism, evolution, abolish the Federal Reserve. The T in great stands for the Talmud and the unwavering support of Israel. Now, I'm going to lose a lot of you here, and I would ask that you stick with me. Now, this may be a topic that I express an opinion that you disagree, and that's fine. I've already lost a lot of good Christian friends over this topic. But when I talk to people in mainstream religion, they just seem to have an unwavering support of Israel, an unwavering support to the point of sending their sons to die for the interest of Israel. I've heard the arguments that Israel is fighting Islam on our behalf, so we have to support Israel. I've heard the argument that blessed are those that bless Israel, cursed are those that curse Israel. I've heard the argument that they're God's chosen people, and I don't disagree with any of that. I think the Bible is the inerrant word of God. But if God made promises to Israel, God will keep those promises to Israel, and He hasn't laid upon my heart to go die for the interest of another country outside of America, especially when those people deny the divinity of Jesus Christ. The Talmud has some very blasphemous things in it. My understanding, and I need to get a copy of the Talmud, but it's very secretive. If you try to order a copy, it's over $900. It comes in like 10 plus volumes. I'm not an unquestioning, unwavering supporter of Israel, especially since they deny Christ. I don't understand why mainstream Christianity just bends over backwards for Israel. It's a big mystery to me, to be honest with you. I'm not anti-Semitic. I know the first thing you're going to say, wow, Rudy's an anti-Semite. No, I'm not an anti-Semite. I just don't understand why we have to sacrifice our sons and daughters and our military effort for the interest of another country. And I don't want, if your argument is, well, Israel is fighting our battles for us and we have to support them, I don't want anybody fighting America's battles for us. I think America should be able to fight their own battles. And if we get into a true righteous war, we won't need to indoctrinate the people to support anything, because they'll just righteously want to do it because it's the right thing to do. But I'm very confused right now on why the mainstream religion holds up Israel as something to unquestionably support. And if they are God's chosen people, then God will take care of that. And I don't feel like I'm not led in my heart that that's something I need to lay down and die for. There are lots of things that I will lay down and die for, lots of things that I feel very passionate for. And I wake up every morning to try to work to expose the truth and to get the truth out. But I just don't understand why everybody bows down and lays down and unquestionably supports Israel, especially when the Talmud has all those blasphemous things in it, and they deny Christ. And it's a big mystery to me. I'm willing to learn on it. I'm up to 13 minutes. Let's keep going. So we got T for Talmud. Then we go to men, M-E-N. We got M for Muhammad. We know Muhammad was a pedophile. He was betrothed to a girl at 6 years old. At 6 years old, he had sex with her at 9 years old. That's nothing but pedophile behavior. Some of the attitudes some of the arguments well, things were different back then. I don't care if you're going back 2,000 years, or you're talking about now, or you're talking about 2,000 years in the future. Having sex, a 53-year-old Muhammad having sex with a 9-year-old is absolutely disgusting. The whole Islamic religion is nothing but a deceptive religion. I reject it wholeheartedly. I want nothing to do with Islam. But I do not think that Islam is the greatest evil in the world. And I think that they are being used as pawns by the New World Order to pit Christianity against Islam. And I don't justify the murdering of over anywhere from 100,000 to 1 million Islamic people in the name of this false war. Okay, I'm up to 14 minutes. The second E stands for eugenics. People don't want to talk about eugenics. Look at Moffat 21, look at Margaret Sanger, look at Planned Parenthood, look at Rahm Emanuel's brother. I think his name is Ezekiel Manuel. Look at Ecoscience. They are trying to depopulate the earth. Listen to what Bill Gates said about vaccines. He said that vaccines are one of his favorite things. He talked about putting vaccines into live mosquitoes. They talk about using vaccines as a means of depopulation. You guys need to become aware of eugenics and not be afraid to talk about that. The last N is 9/11 is an inside job. I've gotten over my shyness about that. I'll talk about that all day long. But we got to get that truth out. God bless every one of you. Hopefully we can talk about these third rails openly. I'm willing to learn, but let's don't shy away from not talking about them. God bless every one of you.